We got an excellent show here today. We're going to talk on the subject of chemtrails. And before we get started, I want to introduce my panel. To the right, got the lovely Chi. How you doing today, Chi?
I'm doing very well.
All right, excellent, excellent. And to her right, we have Brother Sumter.
Sumter.
Sumter, okay.
Sumter.
Sumter, okay.
That's me. How you doing today, bro?
I'm doing good today. I'm doing very, very, very good today.
Thank you, sir.
And to his right, we got King.
Uh-oh, look at. Now, you the king.
King. King of the 80s.
No, that would be you.
I used to be black. I used to be king of the black atheists.
Right.
And the white people were like, no, you're being racist. I said, okay, I'm king of all the atheists.
Well, I be your servant, Gidon bin Yashara'al.
All right, all right. Okay. We're going to talk about chemtrails. Now, Gid and I, we got some questions for our guests here. You know, we got Sumter who's going to tell us about the chemtrails, and we got Chi who's going to offer some solutions.
Yeah, I love solutions.
Yeah, I love solutions too.
Yes.
Because, you know, I mean, you know, we're already battling with the food.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes, we are.
We're battling with the mind control.
Hello.
You know, and I just found out that the video games were actually, they're going to use our skills in the games to put into the computers so the computers can come kill us.
Exactly.
You know, artificial intelligence.
Artificial intelligence.
Yes, the Pentagon, yes, this is declassified information, by the way.
Yes, sir.
So, what are chemtrails? I mean, I see, you know, when I was a little kid, I used to see the plane go by and they used to advertise Peter Joe's in chemtrail riding. Yes. So, you know, we were little kids, like, oh, yeah, you know, and I mean, the stuff was pretty low, too.
Yes.
And we would just sit there all day. Right under the chemtrail. Because we thought it was cool. And they make loop-the-loops. They would draw pictures of flowers.
Yes.
All of this. You know, in California, they try to make it pretty.
Yes.
They try to beautify your death there.
Chemtrails are put out by, I want to say military personnel, because the planes are unmarked, and they don't even file flight plans.
Right.
Anything over 18,000 feet is supposed to file a flight plan.
Okay.
And what they do is they have these huge containers in the airplanes, and they have these nozzles on the back of the plane. And the way you can tell a chemtrail from a vapor trail disappears, pretty much. Chemtrails, they just stay there.
Right.
And it seems to me in Georgia they get higher and higher in altitude. Like 2 or 3 days ago, they were like way up there. One of them I thought was a meteorite, because we are in the middle of a meteorite shower. There's some things above the clouds they don't want us to see. There's a lot of things going on. I mean, I can get into that later in the show, or I can tell you about it now. It's up to you.
Well, I'm more concerned about just, our air here. I just want to breathe. I just want to breathe some clean air.
Yeah, I did right.
Tired of coughing up and
Michael
blowing
Jackson.
up breaths.
Hey, they say some of the side effects are headaches, nausea, sleeplessness, and ringing in the ears. And that comes from ingesting a lot of the metals out of the vapor. It's not a vapor trail.
So you
it's a vapor trail is just water. Yeah, it's like aluminum and some other metals that they push into the air. Now, NASA launched a satellite about, I want to say maybe about a month ago. And it's supposed to be showing China how putting metals in the air can help aid in communication. Nobody knew about the rockets. See, NASA doesn't work for, they don't do space anymore. They do the government's bidding.
Exactly.
So they put this rocket up, and you can see the plume that it, when it let the chemicals out in the air. And the thing that bothers me is we don't think about the children. The effect it's having on our children. And the people that's doing this mission thinking, okay, I'm doing this, it's not going to affect me. Well, you have children on the ground.
Exactly.
You have grandchildren on the ground. Okay? And you got to understand what it's doing to your seed.
Absolutely. Chi, you talk about heavy metals.
Heavy metals, yes. Yes, we talk about the ingredients in some of these chemtrails. From my research, there's aluminum, barium, strontium, and aluminum is one heavy metal. that you know, even back in the 80s, they wouldn't even, they told people to, you know, eliminate your aluminum cookware because it was bad for you to ingest the aluminum even over a short period of time. Now they're apparently spraying this aluminum in the air, and as it comes down, I mean, you have the different pathways that it enters the body. The different pathways are through the breath, the skin, the bowel, and the urine. So we're breathing in aluminum and barium. We're breathing in these heavy metals, and it's affecting, you know, people on various different levels.
Right.
Definitely.
So
what are some of the symptoms? I mean, you say it's affecting people.
Yeah,
Bipolar.
Bipolar,
ADHD.
ADHD, yes,
I
yes.
got nausea from it.
Yes.
Nausea?
What I did was I put some aluminum foil over some spaghetti overnight in the refrigerator. The next day, some bits of the aluminum had dissolved into the spaghetti. I'm thinking, well, it's okay.
Right.
Just took that off the top. The next day, I actually threw up.
Yes, sir.
Get on.
Yes, sir.
Well, you know, she brought out some excellent points about the chemicals. See, there's a weather application that their scientists have used by sprinkling the aluminum in the air, because what they are trying to do is claim that they can reflect a lot of the sun's rays back in space, bouncing the sun's rays through using the aluminum in the air to reflect it where it won't be so pronounced here on the planet. Now, when we talk about, because I'm the oldest guy on this panel right here, we talk about chemtrails. Originally, it was the exhaust of airplanes, because that is a chemical release of combustion. But when they began to do things like seed the clouds, when they began to spray DDT, it was these chemicals back in the 30s and 40s that began to really manifest the virulent, very poisonous nature of these chemicals. Then we go to the 70s, where the chemical industrial complex under the military arm put chemicals on the foliage in Vietnam.
That's right.
But it wasn't just the foliage they put it on. It put it on the combatants from America and the Vietnamese.
Are you talking about that Agent Orange there again?
Agent Orange, Agent Yellow, Agent White, these biological chemicals that infuse themselves into the genetics of our DNA and then alter it.
Gideon, isn't it win at all costs, though?
It is win at all, but win if there's nobody left and you've got air, water, and the earth being polluted and toxic,
oh,
then who wins at that?
We have our nuclear bunkers under the ground. That's
well,
why
they say that the rich will be able to sustain themselves in a limited nuclear conflict, which is why they have underground bunkers and so.
But the underground bunkers, I've seen pictures of those. They got Hummers in there. How good is the air going to be in an underground bunker if you're driving your Hummer around? That's like sitting in the garage and running the engine.
That's exactly.
You're going to have to come out.
Well, that's what's happening on the earth itself. All these chemicals being released. We're in a biosphere and we're trapped. So the air, and see, the first thing that talked and showed the chemical composition of the air and the water was acid rain.
Yes.
Acid rain, and Canada and America had a big thing because the chemical companies and the industrialization of America and across the world produce chemicals, and since we're in a biosphere, what goes up
must come down.
That's right.
And that's what bothers me about chemtrails too. It affects the rainwater.
Exactly.
So if they cut off our water, and the only thing they're responsible for in water, if you really look at the laws on water, is the color and the taste. They're not responsible for something slipping through.
Exactly.
And the sad part about it, we can survive by that water, but this is getting so polluted. If they turn off the water, we can't even drink the water in the lake. You know you can't drink that.
Absolutely.
And you can't drink the water coming down out the sky.
Yeah, but we don't want to just survive. We want to thrive.
Thank you.
Right.
You know, we don't want to just, have life. We want to have quality of life.
Absolutely.
And in order to do that, we need clean air. We need clean water. We need clean food.
Right.
And with these chemtrails, we may not necessarily know why they're doing it, but we just know that they are doing it and that it is not good for humans to be in the same atmosphere or to ingest these chemicals.
Right.
And these chemicals that are harmful, as I was speaking earlier about the aluminum, which affects your brain, affects your mind, it creates memory loss. It gets into your organs, through your skin, through one of the pathways I was talking about. It gets through your skin. And I really want to, go over some of the possible solutions, things that we can do on a daily basis to help
cleanse?
To cleanse ourselves. And that's one of the very good things that we can do, is to constantly do cleanses, to constantly detoxify ourselves, to always constantly be in a state of detoxification, whether it's a mass detoxification or mini detoxifications. And we do that on the circadian cycle of the planet during the seasons. And then we do the major cleanses during the seasons, and then we do minor cleanses every day. And there's some very simple, inexpensive ways that we can actually detoxify and cleanse. And one of the great ways that I like to tell people about to do chemical detoxification is if you have lemon and you have water and you have sea salt, you heat up that solution, and it's a hot lemon, water, sea salt solution with about 1/4 to 1/2 teaspoon of sea salt, and that is a natural chelator.
Oh, wait a minute now. You throwing words.
Right.
You said another word earlier.
Yes. It's a very natural chelator. Oh, got to do some explaining. Okay.
Explain before the king.
All right. Chelation is a process of actually pulling heavy metals, pulling toxins out of the body. And because through the pathways that I mentioned before, the 4 pathways, the urine, the bowel, the breath, and the skin. So as you're pulling the toxins out and evacuating them out, you're evacuating them out on all 4 fronts. And you want to consistently do that on a daily basis, because they're consistently spraying on a daily basis.
Absolutely.
So we want to continue to get as strong and healthy as we possibly can, because you can't do anything without your health.
That's true.
You can't do anything about it.
So you mean to tell me we can unite around clean air?
Oh, absolutely.
We can bring other people in and say, we want to fight for clean. So how can we fight? Because something mentioned that we really don't know, but we can kind of guess the military is doing this. So what kind of? Okay, say it again for the
DARPA. DARPA. You can Google it. DARPA is the agency that works for the military, and they work under the radar like Blackwater.
Okay.
And they're the ones that develop all these robots, like the robot cow and the robot dog that carries your dog pack for you.
In the killer drones.
In the killer drones.
My favorite.
These robots are so sophisticated, you can't even knock them over.
Exactly.
You can kick them and they can outrun you. They run forever. And the thing I don't like about robotics is it seems to me to be a mass plane to replace people.
Absolutely.
Because robots don't take vacations. Robots don't take breaks. Robots don't get sick.
Right.
They just break down.
And robots follow orders.
Yes, they do.
They're going to follow the program.
Yes, they do.
Unquestionably.
Well, we follow the program if we watch television.
Exactly.
Because that's what television is. A
programming mechanism.
It programs you.
Absolutely.
And if you don't believe me, next time you get in an argument, just figure what show you're watching at that time. It could be Jerry Springer. It could be any other, depending on the words of the person.
Exactly.
Okay.
And I like the way she talks about purification, because I went to the doctor one time and I had a pain over here. He thought I had a colon issue. He gave me some hallucinogens and all this other stuff. So I got into a book. It's called Back to Eden.
Yes.
What I did is say, get you a piece of lemon, put in some water, like the sister said.
Oh my goodness.
And add a teaspoon of olive oil, and kind of find out I passed the kidney stone.
Oh my goodness.
He talking about I got colon issue and I have a kidney problem. Okay. So once I took care of that cured the kidney problem.
Well, see,
Exactly.
we
And
tell
that
you
comes
that.
from not drinking what?
That's
Water.
right.
Enough
That's
water.
right.
Well, you see, we tell you that because we need your organs.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Doing that, you're
Yeah.
disrupting our whole plan.
Exactly.
That's right.
Gideon.
Yeah, well, now she was talking about the cures, and I'm very interested in that, because the detoxification and cleansing, obviously, I mean, your skin is beautiful. It shows that you've been cleansing. And that was one level when you talked about the lemon, the sea salt.
Yeah,
What are some of the
thank
other
you.
ways of detoxification?
Well, first of all, I'd like to place a disclaimer that I'm not a doctor. that I'm just a person that is a student of health and nutrition, and I've written a book how I've healed myself called The Healing Gifts of Our Planet.
So you don't practice on people and cut their limbs out?
I don't practice on people and cut their limbs out. I don't know, but some of the tips I have in my book. But I want to give you some more information on things that we can do on a daily basis to assist us in healing ourselves and eradicating the negative energy of the chemtrails. Okay. There's many things we can do. This I have on is called Orgone. And you can get these.
Orgone at home.
Yeah, Orgone, and it takes negative energy and it turns it into positive energy. It does. So it keeps that negative stuff away from you. Okay, that's just one thing. But I want to talk a little bit about the food and the water, because I know a lot of the food and water is tainted. Certainly. So we want to try to get the best quality of water that we can. Sure. The body is meant to be about 7.4 pH, yes. And anything below that is illness. Above that is healthy. So we want to get healthy alkaline water. We don't want acidic water. Acid. Is disease can't live in an oxygenated state. So if you alkalize the body, you have an oxygenated state. Okay. And in that respect, cancer can't exist. Illness and disease cannot exist. Okay. So we want to alkalize our system by using high alkaline water. Yes. So we want to try to get the water that's over the 7.4 mark, not too high.
How is the water alkalinized?
Well, the most natural way that it's alkalized is when it's actually rain and it runs over the rocks and goes into the stream, and that's the natural way that it's alkalized. And there are still some places on the planet that actually does happen.
Certainly. Water still running down the mountains.
There are some places that
yes. We need to know where this place is.
That's right.
It's in South America.
So we can temporarily occupy it.
It's in South America. You cannot go there. George Bush owns it, and there's a military base there, even though we don't have a presence in South America.
Oh, just like the Congo.
It's just like
how you know exactly
like
where it is. You can Google it.
That's what's up.
Well, we must send soldiers over there right away, Gideon.
Absolutely.
We have soldiers.
We have soldiers over there.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Well, we must send our private security over there.
There you go.
Well, I mean, that's what it's all about.
Yes.
So and as you were saying.
Yes.
Well, I mean, there's many different things. I like to really advocate for myself and for anyone who's like to take the advice is to eat superfoods. Yes. Superfoods. Superfoods are mainly the green stuff, the high nutrition superfoods are green leafies, which alkalize the system. Yes. And mainly the stem has the phytonutrients in it. A lot of people throw that away.
Serious?
Yes.
Well, keep my stem.
Yes. They throw the stems.
Are so fibrous, and many of us, as you indicated,
this is true.
And we go for the leafy end.
We go for the leafy end, but a lot of our upbringing has been on food that's not real food.
Absolutely. Right. Well, now, this is another thing, because, see, in our communities, there are isolated areas where many of us and our children are not even exposed to fresh grown products.
That's
right. And even the products that we're getting have been they're using sulfiding agents to stop the natural process of degeneration, decaying, and then they're also radiating the foods. So, I mean, when you have this combination of foods that have been devitalized as well as foods that offer absolutely no nutrition, but this is what you are exposed to in your inner city environment, then what hope is it for? Because the people that are watching this show, they can afford cable. That's one thing. That's right. But the vast majority of us don't even have that luxury.
This is true. One of the things I like to really talk about too is the herbs.
Yes.
The herbs. There's two things that I really want to put out there. One would be the chlorophyll. And spirulina.
Spirulina, you got it. Now, one thing else you left out, if I may throw in there, seaweed.
I didn't get to that yet.
I'm with you, though.
Didn't get to that. Yeah, we're here. Yeah, because the spirulina and the chlorophyll because chlorophyll it's like giving yourself a blood transfusion. Because you can live off of spirulina and or chlorophyll for a long period of time without having much of anything to eat. And even the spirulina, which is also when likened to seaweed that you're talking about, which keeps radiation, which keeps the radiation out, is another good herb to keep radiation away. The spirulina, it's like the DNA; it spirals.
How do you spell it?
Spirulina?
Man, you would be. I put on the point. I
I'm trying to copy. I'm trying to copy off podcast.
Get the book.
Get the book.
I used to take spirulina all the time. I've seen it. I'm a horrible speller.
Thank you. So it's spirulina. That's the way I spell. My wife said, "Why do you spell it?" I'm like, whatever it is, you know.
Okay. But when we're looking at an entire system that predicates its existence on fabricating the natural and chemicalizing so that it can mass produce, isn't the end result of it chemtrails and the chemical exhaust and effluence from these factories, which is what we're dealing with in our ecology anyhow?
Yeah, well, the issue with that is I find a lot of people don't approach those industries because they don't vote and they don't write the congressman. Now you don't even need a stamp. You know, I mean, that's a simple thing. They were talking about gun laws and all that. Nobody wrote the congressman to ask how they feel about that. I did. Okay. They usually split it up. One say yay, one say nay, because you got two.
Right.
I'm like, come on, that's not fair, you know. But the one that don't vote the way I want them to vote, I vote against them. I don't care whether they're Democrat, Republican, I don't care, whatever, because that's a Jedi mind trick. If you want a Democrat and Republican to get together, all you gotta do is give both of them a Falcons jersey. All of a sudden they're on the same team.
No, I mean, you make a good point there, but see, a person like
blacks,
myself,
whites, give them a jersey.
Okay.
So I mean, I'm not talking about on the team. I'm talking about in the stands.
Right. So you can't just unite them on, you want to breathe some clean air.
Exactly.
Drink some clean water.
Well, you probably can if you.
Because a person like myself,
children,
I'm not.
maybe.
I mean, sports go over my head.
But I'm thinking maybe if you focus on what it's doing to the children, maybe the guy in the pilot plane might decide, okay, I don't want to poison my grandchildren.
Right,
okay,
right.
Because the people that's pulling the orders, they're the first ones going to be living on the ground, not him.
Right.
See, by the time he land, it might not be no place to land. They probably all would run on the ground by the time he land.
That's why we're creating robots.
Exactly.
Exactly. That's what I was saying. Yeah. And drones.
That's why we're creating drones. Yes.
Well, see, you have a cog in a wheel concept with this whole issue of the chemicals, the unnatural society that we are developing, because the engineers that produce the cars that's polluting the air that has to do with our breathing don't want bad air.
Right.
They want a job.
Right.
So in essence, you have these very intelligent PhDs and a doctorate, which is a PhD, their intellect is being used, but it's only in a microcosmic way where they don't really see the whole picture. So what you have is people trying to survive and prosper in a system that says, as long as you have the right education, you can prosper. But that education is going to be through Monsanto, through DuPont, through all of these major Exxon, De Beers,
Walmart.
These major, what they are conglomerates of white supremacy that have come together to take over the resources of the entire planet.
Yes.
Right.
Continue.
Yes.
There's power when you can have seedless grapes and label it as organic.
Oh my goodness! Oh wow! What a hypocritical statement.
Thank you.
Right. These are organic seedless grapes.
There you go.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Go ahead.
I'm just going back to. I was concurring. I was agreeing with you.
Yeah. Right. And that's why I know, Summer, I know you you commented on the Smallpox with the Blanket show that we did.
Oh yeah.
That was an excellent, genius show.
It's just like, back in the marijuana show, he said the guy was trying to legalize marijuana, but the marijuana that they're selling don't have any seeds in it. So who's making the marijuana? It's got to be Monsanto.
Right, and that's all I was trying to say.
Wait a minute now, there is some sesame meal that's seedless, though. I mean, it's a female plant and it's a male plant.
Oh, okay. So
right,
the male
so
plant
the
don't have
male
the
plant
seeds.
has the seeds,
The female has the seeds.
Okay, well, one is vice versa.
Well, in the human species, the female has the seeds.
Well, that's a whole nother discussion now. We can get into that.
Right. Well, the point that I'm making, though, is that it's not grown in the soil.
It is
the
not.
Hydroponics was first done in the laboratory.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the question is, how do we engage our youth into understanding? Because, see, they think that we are basically trying to say there's a problem with everything.
Right.
So for us to engage our youth, which is the future, and to have them actually acknowledge the damage that these unnatural products and chemical trails are producing, in your estimation, and does your book even address the issue of our children and their understanding of what's happening in the environment in which we're living?
Well, I like to comment on that. I think that, it's incumbent upon us. We have the responsibility to show our youth an alternative way. We know what doesn't work. We know what's been hurting and killing us. We don't want to go that route. We want to go on the healthy tip. We want to go on the healthy route. We want to show our youth that, you don't have to go to McDonald's and eat empty calorie or GMO, food. We can show our youth that here's a healthy alternative. Here's some excellent raw food that not only tastes good, it's nutritious.
Yes.
It's healthy. And we can show them examples of even, scientific examples of comparisons of this is a person or a laboratory, experiment that this creature and this creature ingested this and this creature ingested that, and this one's plump and has cancer and this one's healthy and thriving. Which would you rather be?
Exactly.
It doesn't take a rocket scientist for, someone to just see an example and say, wow, okay, I don't want that. I want this. How do I get this? And you mean I can have this and eat good food and it tastes good and I really like it better, because we're so, a lot of us are conditioned that sugar is what,
It's America's drug. It's America's drug.
Is what we want.
Alcohol is made from sugar.
Yes.
You don't need a drink if you have
That's
enough
right.
Oreo cookies. You don't need a drink.
This is for the record.
That's right.
In Kroger, they have Lay's chips.
Yes.
Lay's has salt,
Yes.
potatoes, and oil.
Right.
I go in the health food section, and they got potatoes, salt, and sugar. Sugar chips.
Yes.
I'm kind of confused here.
Well, as the sister said, Sister Chi said, it's good to lead by example. And when it comes to kids, my wife and I, we started eating vegetarian over a couple of weeks ago.
Okay, good.
And the
That
main
long?
thing, yes, 2 weeks.
As he hadn't broken yet.
But no, let me tell you the
Has
story.
it made a change in your...
Yes, it did. The beautiful part about it is that, like she said, the key is to make it taste good.
Okay.
So you get rid of the meat, but you keep the salt for a little while and just start weaning off of that. But if you try to go cold turkey with a salad, everyday kids are not going to eat a salad every day. They're going to be like, it's taste to it. No taste to it. So anyway,
that's blasphemous.
Yes.
You are a Christian. You cannot separate the Christian from the swine.
we have went vegetarian.
They want to live, though.
So it's on the weekend. We say, okay, we're going to get something to eat, right? I want me a steak.
Exactly.
She want her steak.
A carnivorous.
She want her steak done.
Yeah.
I want my steak with a little blood coming.
Oh, my
Talk
goodness.
about sin.
No.
They gave her my steak.
Oh, my
Gave me
goodness.
her steak. She was up all night sick.
Oh, exactly. Oh, my goodness.
But see, a lot of people don't know. When you start cleansing yourself and you try to go back, the food will make you sick.
Yes. That's
when
right.
Dick Gregory
Absolutely.
sold the Dick Gregory Bahamian diet,
Yes.
that's all I had for a whole week.
Okay.
I say I'm gonna celebrate. Kentucky Fried Chicken, give me a 2 piece and a biscuit.
Uh-oh.
Man, I was in the bathroom for at least 5 hours.
Well, now, you just segued into an excellent point, because I want you to speak, because what we've really been talking about, we're talking about chemicals,
Right, that's
but we also been talking about food.
And
But what and cleansing. But we haven't been talking about is how that food is extracted from the body and
Yes.
what good waste looks like versus bad waste. And I know our children that are watching this program, what does he mean? Good waste and bad waste? It's waste. It's
That
waste.
means you got to look at it every time.
You need to look at it. If
That's
you've
right.
got waste that's coming out that look like deer pellets
Thank you.
or rat pellets,
Yep.
your bowels are locked up.
Or
That's
black
right.
billy club.
Back bitty,
Black
right,
billy
hard.
club. Yes.
Your waste, and I want you to speak on how chemicals affect our waste.
Yes.
Your waste is supposed to be loose. It's supposed to be able to flow freely
That's
without. And see, I'm one who's plagued by hemorrhoids, and I had to combat that through physical exercise and diet. Speak to us, if you would, about waste. What's
Okay.
good waste and what's bad boo-boo?
First of all, I like to say that I don't call it diet because we don't eat to die, we eat to live. So we call it.
Oh, look out. There you go.
You know, we eat to live, so we call it live it.
That's right, live it.
So, you know, the waste that we excrete, it should be within the same time frame of at least a day that we take in food that we should evacuate.
Exactly.
It should be a constant cycle
Yes.
of once the nutrients go in, if the food and the nutrients go in, you evacuate the waste that's not needed.
How do the chemicals affect our waste?
Oh, the
perspective.
chemicals affect our waste in many different ways, and one is the constipation, which would cause the hemorrhoids that you may be experiencing or have experienced. It also, you know, waste is also something that it shouldn't have an odor. It's not in there long enough.
Right.
You know,
Exactly.
when that bowel sits in there for a long period of time, it ferments.
Yes.
Now, wait a minute now. You say now, we know the food we eat, if we have odor coming in, it's going to have one coming out. But you're saying it's not supposed to be that putrid, decayed matter that has been in there, like when your waste is in your trash can.
Right.
That's
If
right.
it don't stink when it go in there, a week
right.
later,
That's
it
right.
stink.
That's
Go ahead.
right. That's right. That's
In
right.
other
And-
words, my house will smell, but you're not supposed to run everybody out the house.
Exactly.
I mean, you know, even if it has a slight odor, it shouldn't be so strong that, like he said, run people out of the house.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that's part of what chemicals do, and the chemicals, you know, it absorbs the food, it absorbs the chemical, and it's like you're eating a chemical.
Exactly.
So you're not eating nutrients. You're not ingesting nutrients. You're ingesting something foreign that the body has no idea what it is.
Yeah.
The body's what that is.
But Monsanto has created genetically modified chemtrail-resistant food. I mean,
Yes.
what
Yes,
the
they
heck
have.
is that?
Yes, they have. Yes, they have.
I mean, we're trying to do
Unfortunately-
our contribution.
That's right. That's right. So it's incumbent upon us to try to obtain real, organic seed. You know, take it upon ourselves. You know, when I healed myself, you know, I had to take matters into my own hands.
Yes.
You know, I said, you know, medical doctors, I
what
can't
I
find anything. I don't know what's going on with you. You know, I have to take matters in my own hands.
Right.
I've got to learn. You know, I've got to
Exactly.
re-educate myself, and this is what
Exactly.
we all have to do. We have to
Yes.
re-educate ourselves. Knowledge is power.
It is.
Yes.
We have to
it is.
re-educate ourselves on even what the body is.
Yes.
You know, most of us, or a lot of people, and I want to say most of, a lot of people don't know where their organs are on their body. You ask someone, where's their liver? I don't know.
Where's your
Yeah.
kidney?
You know, where's your kidney?
Right here.
I don't
Kidney's
know.
the back end.
You know.
Yes.
And
Take my stomach out.
I know what that is.
You know, so we have to, you know, we have to really start from the youth and really, you know, educate them coming up as we educate ourselves, because a lot of us aren't educated.
Yes.
So we've got to really do a lot of catching up so that we can really know what this miraculous gift that we have here, this temple, what it's all about.
Yes.
What the best way to function with it is. I mean, if you have a Maserati, you know, you're going to learn about that car. You're going to know that car can't even take regular gas.
That's right.
You know, that you got to put some high test in it.
That's right.
You know, so why would you treat your car any different or yourself
better
any
than
different?
your car.
Right, and you can't take Maserati to the Jiffy Lube.
That's right. That's right. That's right. So, you know, we have to really, you know, educate ourselves. And if we want to not only survive but thrive. We've got to, you know, treat ourselves like we love ourselves. Do the best for ourselves. You know, so that we can do the best for the next generation and the next and the next and the next. Because the state of the being it is now is that these next generations won't even know what organic food is.
They won't.
That's true.
It's going to be all GMO.
Exactly.
That's true.
So,
And in America, you know, they don't even have to advertise GMOs.
No,
That's
don't.
why
right.
they won't. In Europe, a lot of European nations won't even take American beef products.
No,
because
that's right.
they don't
They
have
won't.
to label them here.
That's right. They won't.
Any of the Europeans will stand together
Absolutely,
and
they
make
will.
sure that the Monsantos and the Walmarts don't come with that nonsense. You know?
Right.
Why are we so complacent?
Well, you're talking about a capitalist agenda, and at the end of the day, even though they being the European nations speak against it and don't want it to come into their system, they still support America and its industrialization of the world.
Yeah.
Because the food item is how the social elite control the world.
Yes.
The chemicals that they produce from the chemtrails, the food that the chemicals they put in the
food,
food
yes.
and in the environment themselves is all a part of their master plan.
Yeah.
So that's why we see, if we don't control the resources of our food production, the manufacturing of it, we don't control nothing.
Yeah.
So even when we were just talking on the show, I did earlier about the Muslims, they had international connections on their fish when Elijah Muhammad was alive. When he died, they cut that down. See, so we've been cut off from our original parts. And if we're under oppression in a white supremacist system, as they chemicalize, even drive in our neighborhoods where they do the spraying for the insects.
Oh man, that made me mad. I just ran in the house.
Come on now.
I saw the truck coming down the street. I'm sitting there enjoying my front porch, and he come with. I'm like, I went right in the house.
And the chemicals are also injected in us through what they call vaccines.
Thank you.
So we get chemicals in the air, chemicals in the food.
That's
here,
right.
Kim, there, Kim,
That's
everywhere
right.
is Kim.
And if you ever been in the military, they shoot you up every Wednesday, sometime in both arms.
Wow.
Some of that stuff could be mind controlling drugs. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Christopher Donner.
And I've also read that if you really want to improve your health, the first step you need to do is shop outside the store. Well, what I mean by outside the store, you got the middle part where all the box products are,
gotcha.
and you got the outside where the natural stuff is. Start that way, then work your way out of Walmart. Try to get down to the farmer's market.
But let me ask her this question. What about exercise? Because we talked about healthy eating. We know in America it is being overweight is at epidemic proportions.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Because of the chemically laced food,
And eating
the
out of boxes.
sedentary lifestyle, eating out of boxes, and then on top of that, radiating the food that we eat.
That's right.
How
That's
is
right.
exercise, or does exercise help to purge and cleanse?
Absolutely, absolutely. And first I want to say, when you speak about overweight, overweight for the most part, when someone is overweight, they're starving to death.
Yes, they are.
They're starving to
Break that
death.
down.
They have not ingested enough nutrients in the food that they're eating, so they keep eating. Because once the body is satisfied with the nutrients that it has, it's not hungry anymore.
Exactly.
Right.
I mean, it already has intelligence to know when to stop.
Stop.
You know, but if it's eating, you know, empty calories or
Exactly.
pies and cakes and breads and cookies
Yes.
and it's not really being vitalized, you know, it wants
Exactly.
more and more and more.
Exactly.
So, you know, for a lot of overweight people, we say part of the solution is to eat nutritious food.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Eat nutritious food.
And a lot of it.
And a
Yes.
lot of it.
Because that's one issue I have. I have trouble trying to eat enough food. You got to eat at least 5 times a day. It's got to be the right stuff. Because,
Exactly.
like when I eat oatmeal now, I don't just eat oatmeal. You put nuts in it, you put raisins in
Exactly.
it, and you put honey in
Exactly.
it, and you use
Exactly.
soy milk. Now you got a meal.
Yes.
You got something that's going to turn off the thing that says I'm still hungry.
Right.
In the chemical world, they put chemicals in McDonald's to turn that off in your brain, telling you ain't got enough food. You need a double decker and a supersize.
That's right.
Supersize. And I need a big gulp to wash it down. Give me 72 ounces. 12 ain't getting it. And then you are drinking 32 to 72 ounces of high fructose corn syrup, which is the first
Yes.
ingredient on the bottle.
That's right.
And what the brother on the show, Elder Sundown, was talking about, they would produce a hamburger now that's grown in a pizza
in the lab.
dish.
Yes. It's like $500,000 hamburger. And nobody would eat it.
The chemical, they put a chemical in it to block the dopamine in it, so you don't, like you said, you don't know when to stop eating.
You don't know when to stop.
Just like Philip Morris. It was proven that Philip Morris was putting more nicotine in the cigarettes to make it wasn't the fact whether you were coming back. We know you coming back.
That's right. That's right.
Yes.
That's right.
Because nicotine has a chemical dependency.
That's right.
Yes, it does.
So I mean, you mentioned earlier something about voting coming together. I mean, what can we, you know?
Well, I vote with my wallet. If my wallet don't look right, or if I write a congressman, they don't vote the way I want to vote, I just go down to the polls and I vote against that person. I don't care what their name is. Well, I knew you got to know their name to vote against them. Mm-hmm. And another thing, I have a movement called Vote Incumbents Out. All incumbents. If you don't like what's going on in Congress, go to the voting thing and check the one that you don't, not the guy that's the incumbent, because it's going to say incumbent on there. Vote the other guy. The problem in Georgia, most of these guys are unopposed. That's the only name on the ballot. Right, now you got a problem. See? Mm-hmm. You know,
well, because we don't trust the system.
Well, the system is us, and the issue I say about that is, and the thing that bothers me about it, everybody knows when the presidential election is. Obama's running against this guy, and this guy's running against Obama. That's not where the power is. It's in the local elections. A lot of stuff they pass, they don't even have a hearing or none of that stuff. They don't put it on television. Right. You know, they make marijuana illegal. They just make it illegal.
Right.
The guy that made it illegal is dead, and the guy before him that made it illegal is dead. Right. And one guy put on Facebook, well, when they going to make it nationally legal? I said, Carter did that in 1978. Right. Everybody's listening to Nixon, okay? Because they understand that people that smoke weed, I hate to put this on your show.
No, but put it on the show.
People smoke weed, they talk. They sit around and talk. Black people talk to white people, men talk to women, and they respect each other.
Yes.
Another thing marijuana does, it makes you turn off the television set. If you turn off the television set, they can't control you.
Exactly.
Okay? So as long as you got that TV going and the lights, and it was beautiful. My wife opened up a door, not a door, but like pulled the blinds back on a window in the theater room. I always keep that room dark because it's got a projector and it's a cheap projector, so you got to keep it dark.
Exactly.
She had it open one day, and I went upstairs about 5:30 in the morning, and the neighbors had their windows closed, but it's 5:30 in the morning, and everybody's still asleep, but you saw this light. And it was the television. Right. And the way it was flashing and it looked like they were being programmed and they sleep.
Morse code.
Yeah, it looked like Morse code. That's what it looked like. Wow. And all you saw was this.
But let me throw something else at you because, see, have you heard in Antarctica, one of the major features of Antarctica are what they call the Northern Lights. It is the aurora borealis.
Yes.
Those northern lights are highlighted because of chemicals in the atmosphere. The sun reflecting off of those chemicals. And now there in America, when you see California, Atlanta, major cities, smog hovers over the city.
It does.
It's like a fog.
Yes. Especially in the summertime.
And we are ingesting through all those ingestion points that you mentioned, all these chemicals. So even though white people love their children, they love themselves, they want clean air, clean water, clean food. There is a system of white supremacy called capitalism that don't love none of that and doesn't care, and that's what they support and promote. That's their baby, and they ain't gonna throw it out with the bathwater.
Well, the only way to take it back is we have to grow our own food and produce our own water. Now,
but where are you going to get the seeds, Mr. Sumner?
That's what I'm saying.
From Monsanto, who's been given the authority to control all the seed population. And you got black farmers who were paid not to farm and won their suit against this corrupt government and still ain't been paid. Go ahead.
But I mean, you know, back in the days when we came up, you could walk down the street and pull an apple off a tree.
That's illegal now.
You could pull off, it's illegal to grow the tree.
We are going to lock you up.
I'm telling you, marijuana, I hate to put that on your show again, but marijuana is the poster child for the apple tree.
Yes.
A lot of people don't know that.
Well, see, that's why we went after marijuana first.
But not only that, it's just like what they said about President Obama. He's pushing health care. They put that in the news, but he signed a law that excluded Monsanto from being prosecuted.
Boom!
During the same time.
There you go.
Okay, so while we're making marijuana illegal, We're stopping you from growing apple trees.
Right.
That's the main thing. We don't want you growing no food.
Exactly.
And if you want to test me, if you out there living in what is it called? One of those homeowners association neighborhood, try grow a little 4x4 garden.
Exactly.
See what kind of resistance you get. You get put out the neighborhood for trying to grow your own food.
Right, yeah.
It's illegal to grow your own food. Yes, you heard me.
Absolutely.
Illegal to grow your own food in your own backyard.
Absolutely.
You need a permit, you know. And
If you're not, you're going to be deemed as a terrorist.
Yeah,
exactly.
Right.
So the main thing is if you're growing your own food, then you don't need to buy groceries.
Exactly.
That's what people don't understand. Your grocery bill go down to zero if you buy enough seeds.
Well, see, they talk about
especially
us
all the
being
rain we be getting lately.
independent, but they actually want us to all be
Dependent. Yes.
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 How do we break that?
Well, I don't have all the answers, of course,
Okay.
you know, but there are places and that you can still grow your own food.
Right.
So, I advocate, doing as much of that as possible, getting
Yes.
organic seeds, growing as much of your own food as
Define
possible.
organic.
Yeah,
My
we have
brother
to do
just
that.
mentioned they talking about seedless items that are organic. How you get something that ain't got a seed that's organic? What is
Absolutely.
organic?
Organic is the original.
Right.
Original seeds from the original tree or bush or, the
So are you
cycle.
saying a male plant and female plant?
Yes, yes.
Reproducing. through
Reproducing,
pollination.
through pollination,
Save the
and
bees.
you have a
Exactly.
new species of the same and similar kind as its parents.
So organic simply means something that's living.
Yes.
And
Yes.
not having been altered through some
Science.
chemical or experimental process.
Yes, yes.
No
yes.
artificial insemination.
Thank you. Make your own babies.
That's right, that's right.
Yeah.
That's
So we're
right.
looking. Okay, so organic is the male plant, the female plant,
Yes, yes.
and then
And
reproducing.
protect the bees.
Reproduce.
The law of reproduction.
Yes.
And you got
That's
to
true,
protect the
that.
bees.
That's
I have
right. You
bees-
gotta protect
I
the
have bees in my
bees.
backyard all the time. And I tell people to go out there, don't mess with the bees. They don't
Right.
mess with you. They might go in your face and say hello,
Right.
and the first thing a person do is this.
That's it.
And now they're going to attack you.
Yeah.
Okay, but if you just look at them and say hi, they go on about their business. It's true. I went to a neighborhood in Peachtree City. The whole neighborhood is full of big, especially the big fat ones. They don't mess with you.
Bumble.
They were all over the place. And I was afraid to get out of my truck.
Right.
And I had to get out. So I got out, they didn't mess with me.
Right.
And that's how you learn stuff like that. You know, you learn how to move clouds and make clouds disappear by doing it.
But
Okay,
it's
we
like how
can
you
do that.
said earlier, the cartoons make the bees seem evil,
Yeah, they do.
Chasing
That's
you
that
and
television
stuff,
what program again?
Well-
Television tells you what to think. It tells
Exactly.
black people what to think. It tells our
Exactly.
children what to think.
Right.
But if our children don't understand like we do, rap started with black people. Now it's all over the world in different languages. We set down the rules. The
Yes.
words have to rhyme. They have to go to a beat.
Exactly.
We made that up.
Yes.
From the last poets.
Hello.
And Nikki Giovanni.
Giovanni,
Thank
exactly.
you. You know, they're talking
Gil
about.
Scott-Heron.
Yeah, they're talking about Ice Cube and no, it's before them.
Way
they had to learn from
before.
somebody.
Hello.
They probably started out in the slave field as
exactly.
as a chant.
Yes.
We didn't have no music.
Like just like the banjo.
Thank
Everybody
you.
don't know that's an African American instrument.
A banjo. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Another thing they don't understand out here in
Yes.
the South is President Obama represented the hillbillies and the country folks because it was a fight between the hillbillies and the original colonies because the original colonies came from England and the hillbillies came from Ireland. They still fight today.
Absolutely.
England and Ireland, you get two people together from England and Ireland over there, you got a fist fight.
Like the
Literally.
Irish Republic Army.
Oh
There
man,
you
they get in
go.
the street and they have at it. They
Yeah.
still do that today.
Right.
Okay, so if you understand that President Obama is representing the entrepreneurs of the hills who grow the marijuana and do the moonshine because Joe Kennedy, who was a big Democrat, was a moonshine runner.
Absolutely.
They sold the illegal liquor when it's illegal.
That's right.
Okay, so now you got it. Yes, ma'am. I got my amen corner going over there.
There you go. Cheerleading
You know,
squad.
so you got all these so-called hillbillies. They call themselves hillbillies, but they don't live in the hills.
Right.
They call themselves rednecks, but their necks are not red.
Exactly.
Okay, get on the bandwagon. If somebody's cutting out the government programs, guess who they cutting it out against? It ain't the rich people.
It is not.
If your pocket is poor as mine, we the same color.
That's right.
We silver, we ain't green. We ain't got no green up pocket. All we got is pocket change.
That's
Well, you
right.
hear that, Gideon?
Yes, sir.
Obama's for us.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well.
No, he's for he's for the hillbillies.
That's
I'm
what
telling
I'm
you,
saying.
the hillbillies are the ones that grow their own food. The hillbillies are the ones that got the water wells.
Right.
They're trying to shut all that down. You know how they shutting it down? Natural gas.
He for the big beards in there.
No, natural gas. They come up there, give them a land lease for $1 million, and say, "Oh, go ahead, put your well down there in my land. I don't have a problem with it." Next thing you know, you turn on the faucet and you can light the water. It's got so much gas in it.
Fracking.
That's right.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Let's talk about that.
They can't even
Well,
drink
the
it.
internal destruction of the structural integrity of the planet because of the parasitic nature through which which are the devices that are used to extract from the planet's core its mineral resources. Right. See, we have the intelligence to extract energy simply from the rotation of the planet itself.
Free electricity.
Free for all, but see, they don't want that.
Wait a minute.
No, they don't want
They
that.
don't want that now. It's gonna be everybody. That goes down to the capitalist manifesto.
That's socialism. They got communism.
That's exactly right.
We have a minimum.
terrorism.
That's exactly
We have a minimum
right.
of 9.7 gigawatts of electricity circling this planet every day, and that's on the low end. The day that lady went crazy down on Capitol Hill, it was up to 121 gigawatts. That's just sitting in the air, ambient.
Right.
Tesla showed that by building a car and just putting an antenna up and sparks going everywhere.
Wait,
Exactly.
All you got to do is take 2 pieces of wire and hook it up to your TV. You don't need to pay
Tesla
Pepco
was a
and
terrorist.
Georgia
He
Power.
wanted to disperse that freely. So,
Man, they stole all his stuff. You're right.
We
You're right.
backed Edison because that
You're right.
Tesla guy, he's goddamn
And when he died, they took almost all of his stuff.
That's right.
And the reason why they don't want us to have aluminum is because you won't have to put gasoline in your car anymore. Aluminum it works with magnetism to make things float.
Exactly.
So now you got your anti-gravity. You put a magnet against another magnet, what's it do?
Move.
So if you got a magnet in the road and you got a magnet in your car and you put that magnet do like that, what's that car gonna do?
A hovercraft. It will be
And
a
not only that,
hovercraft.
it's gonna go.
It's gonna
you
move.
reverse it, it's gonna stop. Now what you
Absolutely.
just cut out? The engine, you cut
Yes.
off the oil industry.
Exactly.
You cut off everything. And what makes me mad about the oil industry, they're greedy.
Yes,
Because everything we have other than this table, no,
Petroleum,
this table
right,
too, 'cause
it's
this is
got
it's
it.
made out of oil.
Oh, absolutely.
So what
But
they doing with the
it
cars?
is the fuel for the next coming world fire that is coming. Not only is it on the planet, it's in the waters because they
Yes.
summarily distributed their waste
Into the water.
into the water system, killing plants, animals, changing the whole biosphere.
Yes.
And that's what we're talking about, the chemical introduction as well.
Yes.
So again, here we are as semi-literate little people.
Yes.
But you have people that are paid at the highest levels of intellectual intelligence and exposure. You think they don't know these things? But they are a cog within a wheel. We don't run anything. Just as even though we're running our mouths, we pray that the information that we're giving will help to inform others. But the application of that information is held up through their mind control,
Yes.
through environmental issues of having resources in your immediate area, and a number of other challenges to us getting what we need to fight against this onslaught of chemical introduction.
Well, I
Yes.
think that, you had a good point, and when you said, being cogs in a wheel, but, we can look at nature and see that when we look at the ants, when they come together, they can move a mountain.
And they can't
If
even
you get a whole bunch of ants, they can do a whole bunch of stuff.
Yes, they do.
So we may just be little cogs in wheels like little ants.
Right.
But, when we have shows like this that, bring awareness about to other people who feel the same way that we do, and coming together on, we just want clean water, clean air, and clean food. We don't have to
Yes.
come together on all the other things that, are divisive amongst us. We can come together on, we need clean air, we need clean water, and we want clean food, okay?
Yes.
And we can come together and be like the ants and make the change.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Tell them where they can get your book, Ms. Chief.
Yeah, you can get my book. It's called Healing Gifts from Our Planet, A Woman's Journey to Vibrant Health, although it's not just for a woman, it's for anyone who is interested in healing themselves.
Beautiful.
testimonials on the back.
Exactly.
Oh, I was trying to see the price. Well, how much is the book?
Oh, he's going to
He's
capitalist.
just going all the way to the price, and he's getting the price of the book.
It costs money to make the books. I know the book ain't free. My book ain't free.
No, this is true.
It's all good. But you can get the book from Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com. You can get it here in Atlanta at Seven Under. Food Co-op, you can get it at Tassili's Raw Reality, where I also work and create raw food and help the sister out there.
Okay.
And you can also purchase it at Madu Books in Greenbrier Mall.
Well, you know, now I do smoothies.
Advertise good.
Okay.
And see, one of the things that, for my mother, who's 85 and an amputee, but she's doing quite well, praise the Most High. I want to ask this question as well, though, and I know Black Sun is not a spiritualist or whatever, but what component do you feel that spiritualism, because see, even though Black may not be a spiritualist, but he said he, I believe, recognized the power of this crystal. A crystal is what you have on your chest there.
Right.
And you
Well, this is
said
nothing spiritual about this. Is science.
It's science.
This is
well,
science.
okay, well, let
This
me
is
ask the
science,
question,
okay?
because when we talk about a device repelling negative energy,
Yes.
and we know energy comes from within us based on an emotional response to certain stimuli, how then can an inanimate object do that scientifically?
Well, I look at it like this. Everything is energy. And energy can't be created or destroyed.
Exactly.
We can utilize energy to benefit us, or energy can not benefit us and be negative, be detrimental to our well-being and ourselves. So the negative energy that's coming at us in all shapes and forms, from the chemtrails to the food to the water to toxic thoughts, toxic people. These are some of the things that I've experienced, because when I was in corporate America, I got very ill. And I worked in the airline business for 21 years, and I took it early out, which I was fortunate to get.
To get out.
To get out alive. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, and I had many symptoms of depleted health.
Exactly.
And as I began to heal myself, I was on this journey of healing myself, because like I said, medical doctors couldn't, they told me they didn't know what was wrong with me, they didn't know, anything. So as I was,
Psychosomatics.
yeah, they said it was all in your head. I'm like,
Exactly.
this is not in my
Toxic
head.
poisoning,
Yeah,
that's
right?
what it was.
So as I was healing myself, I began to journal.
Right.
And as I began to journal and heal myself and do all the different types of things, when I changed everything, I changed my thinking, I changed what I ate,
Right.
I went to different nature paths,
Right.
and I began to take Tai Chi.
Yes.
As I was doing Tai Chi and Qigong, and healing myself on all these fronts, and journaling, I had realized that after I was really upstanding and feeling, vibrantly healthy, that I had written a book.
Wow.
So that's where the book came from.
from
That's
your
where the book
journals.
came
I
from.
like that.
And I really wasn't even intending on marketing and selling the book. I was like, okay, great, I'm good now. I'm good. I'm good. And I was meditating, and it came to me that I was supposed to share the information to help other people heal.
Yes.
Absolutely.
To help other people heal. So I had to publish the book. I felt that I had to publish the book and help other people heal. And in answer to your question, which I said I told the publisher, I said, I don't want it to be $20. I want everybody to be able to afford the book and buy the book.
Right.
It's got to be less than $20, so it's $15.99.
I thought you were going to say $50.
So no, it's $15.99.
Okay.
So and that's just the first of a series of books that I'm writing. As I'm almost completely done with my second book, which is going to be very, very powerful as well. And I'm hoping to have it done in the next 30 days and get to the editor and get to the printer so that I can get it out, because everyone who's bought the first book is looking for the second one. They're looking for the second book. So they're calling me and blowing up my phone. Sister called me this morning saying, I just read your book. When's the second one coming? I really need that information. So, I'm grateful.
Great.
And, even my name, which is Sharice, is my author name, which means grace, because I have the grace that I was healed, and within Sharice, you see CHI, which is Chi, which I transformed into Chi. From
energy.
Sharice, I rose, Cha rise. So,
now let me ask this last question, because I know we're getting ready, our time is out. What about regional environments? Is the region an area, a geographical location Any better one place than another? Or are we all inundated? Or are we out?
I think we out.
Okay.
We out. Peace.
Peace. See you next time.
That was good. That was really good. I enjoyed it.
Same here, my brother.
Nice to meet you. That was
Nice
great.
to meet you. Thank you. Thank you.
Beautiful sister.
Thank you.
Now-
No doubt.
Now, well, I wrote down, so I can just Google the name of the book and find it on Amazon.
So you can buy this one.
Not without any money I paid.
Let you go. Let you go without no, you know what I'm
An
saying?
investment.
I'm going to get the book. I don't get paid till Wednesday.
It's all good. It's all good.
Give me the book today and I French it to Wednesday. That Barney, Wimpy.
Pay you Tuesday for a hamburger today. That's right. I'm not you. I'm 63, brother. I told you that.
You're not older than me.
Yes, I am. I told you
Man,
that.
I'm
I told you that the last time I was older than you.
I ain't bleeding yet.
And my wife should be 60 this year.
Man, y'all looking a little too good.
We were good now, I'm telling you. It comes from getting rid of all that stress.
Yeah, and now you
And I like what she said.
Detoxify.
But I like what she said about the ants because
Yes.
there's a documentary on
Yes.
Netflix on ants. They can't swim.